The following Zoom session is being recorded and will appear later today on my YouTube channel, Math with Mayo. There are two different classes that may be observing this session. Therefore, when you participate in the Zoom meeting, if you do not wish for your picture or your name to be made public, please leave the video off and use an alias name. If you have questions during the meeting but do not wish to speak, email me at bmail@ybcc.edu and I will respond as soon as I can. All right, so today we're reviewing for the test that's tomorrow. And I've got some questions that were requested. This actually goes all the way back to 7.6, which is a couple days ago, but we've got time, so we'll do it. We're going to take a look at problem number 26, and it says this. It says, solve the equation and check the result. And the equation looks like this. Y plus 2/9 equals 2y minus 144 over 9y minus 81. Okay, if we factor each denominator completely, we've just got a y over 1. We've got 2 over 9, which I guess would be 3 times 3, but I'm going to leave it as 9. But what I do want to do is I want to look at this one. This would be 9 times y minus 9, okay? So now my denominators are 1, 9, 9, and y minus 9. So my LCD is going to be 9 times y minus 9. Any question about where I got that? All right. So now I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 9 times y minus 9. And over here, 9 times y minus 9. So distributing over here, I've got 9 times y minus 9 times y over 1 plus 9 times y minus 9 times 2 over 9 equals 2y minus 144 over 9 times y minus 9 times 9 times y minus 9. Okay, so that's distributing this LCD, which is that, to each of the 3 existing terms in the original equation. So now going back, let's see here. On this first one, nothing's going to reduce. Let's see, if I distribute, I get 9y minus 81 and all that times y. So 9y squared minus 81y. Okay. The next one, the 9's reduce out and I get plus 2 times y minus 9, which is plus 2y minus 18. And over on the right side, the y's and the y minus 9's cross out, and we have 2y minus 144. So we've cleared all the fractions. Again, any questions before we go on? Combining like terms, 9y squared minus 79y minus 18 equals 2y minus 144. I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides and add 144 to both sides. So that gets me 9y squared minus 81y plus, let's see, if I've got negative 18 plus 144, that is 126 equals 0. Okay. Well, hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. So I'm going to recopy that equation. 9y squared 81y, let's see, minus 81y plus 126 equals 0. Wow. Oh, you know what? This isn't going to be so bad because I can factor out a 9. Well, that's a relief. Let's see. That's going to be, what, 126 divided by 9 is 14. Boy, I was getting worried there that it was going to take a while to do this. So we're going to get 2 solutions. And if we go back and plug them back in, we notice the only thing we have to worry about is that y can't equal 9. Other than that, it wouldn't make a 0 in the denominator. All right, we okay with that one? Any questions? Still in 7.6, this is number 27. Same idea, solve the equation. I've got 1 minus 3 over b equals negative 8b over b squared plus 3b. So once again, I'm going to factor that denominator. So now my LCD is going to be b times b plus 3, because I've got a 1, a b, and a b times b plus 3. So I'm going to multiply this by b times b plus 3, and over here times b times b plus 3. Okay? Very much like the previous problem. So I've got b times b plus 3 times 1 minus b times, b plus 3 times 3 over b equals negative 8b over b times b plus 3 times b plus 3. So distributing, I get b squared plus 3b times 1 is still going to be that, minus, over here the b's cross out, and I have 3b plus 9 equals negative 8b, because the b's and the b plus 3's cross out. Sooner or later, this eraser will work. And there it is. Okay. Combining like terms. Oh, let's see here. Those would cancel. B squared plus 9 equals negative 8b. Add 8b to both sides. B squared plus 8b. Plus 9 equals 0. And we get, let's see here. What do we get there? B, I don't think that factors, does it? Product is 9. Let's see. B, it would be, if the product is 9 and the sum is 8, 9 and 1, 3 and 3. Well, let's see here. Maybe I've done something wrong. Oh, you know what I did wrong? I know what I did wrong. Right up here. What's wrong with that? I made the awful mistake. I've got all of this, but I'm subtracting that. So what should I have put in this next line that I didn't put in there? Anybody?
Negative.
Parentheses, which then, yes, would have distributed. So it should have been b squared plus 3b minus 3b minus 9. Okay? You see that?
Yeah.
That's what I get for going too fast. B squared minus 9 equals negative 8b. Add 8b to both sides. B squared plus 8b minus 9 equals 0. So now we can factor it into plus 9 minus 1. So b equals negative 9, b equals 1. And those are the two correct solutions. The only ones we'd have to avoid, b couldn't equal 0 or negative 3. All right. So done in by my own going too fast. All right. Now we're going to take a look at 7.7. Give me a second here to get these problems up here. 7.7. And this is number 7 and number 8. Okay. It says if the same number is added to both the numerator, you know what? Let me bring this up on the screen. And I'm curious because the student got the question right, but they still wanted me to do it. So I will do that. All right, number 7. It says, if the same number is added to both the numerator and denominator of the amount of pecans used in the following recipe for toffee, the result is the amount of brown sugar to be used. Okay, so how much pecans? 2/3 of a cup. So we're going to start with a fraction 2/3. If the same number is added to both the numerator and the denominator, so we're going to add x to the numerator and x to the denominator. So now we've got 2 plus x over 3 plus x. The result is the amount of brown sugar, which is 3/4 of a cup. So from reading the problem, our fraction or equation should look like this. Any question about that? Well, the LCD is going to be what? 4 times the quantity 3 plus x. So 4 times the quantity 3 plus x, 4 times the quantity 3 plus x. On the left side, the 3 plus x's go, and I have 4 times the quantity 2 plus x. On the right, the 4's go, and I have the quantity 3 times the quantity 3 plus x, which gives me 8 plus 4x equals 9 plus 3x. Oops, subtract 3x from both sides, 8 plus x equals 9. Subtract 8 from both sides, x equals 1. Let's see if that's true. 2 plus 1 over 3 plus 1 equals 3/4. Yep, it does. 3/4 equals 3/4. So the answer is the number 1. Any questions there? All right. We're going to go on and take a look at problem number 8, and I'll bring that up on the screen here. If the same number is added to both the numerator and the denominator of the first measurement. Okay, so this is a tape measure, and each of those little hash marks is 1/16 of an inch. So our initial fraction is 1/16. If the same number is added to both the numerator and the denominator, so we're going to get 1 plus x over 16 plus x. The result is the second measurement, which would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/16. But I could take 6/16 and reduce it down to 3/8. Okay. So my equation should look like that. My LCD is going to be 8 times 16 plus x, 8 times 16 plus x. On the left, the 16 plus x's go, and we have 8 times 1 plus x. On the right, the 8's go, and we have 3 times 16 plus x. Any questions? All right, distributing. 8 plus 8x equals 48 plus 3x. Subtract 3x from both sides, 5x plus 8 equals 48. Subtract 8 from both sides, 5x equals 40. Divide both sides by 5, and x equals 8. Let's see if that's true. 1 plus 8 over 16 plus 8 would be 9 over 24, which reduces down to 3/8. So it checks. X equals 8. Okay, now we're going to go and look at questions from another student. So give me a minute here. Let's see. 4781. And there. And 7.7. Number 6. Okay. So we're looking at problem number 6, and this is, let's see, this is from 7.7, okay? The sum of a number and its reciprocal is 13/6. Find the number and its reciprocal. Okay, 13/6. So let's go back to the other screen. So if we let x equal a number, then what would its reciprocal be? 1 over x. Okay, so 1 over a number is its reciprocal. So if the number is x, its reciprocal is 1 over x. It says the sum of a number and its reciprocal is 13/6. So there's our equation. Any questions about that? All right, so our LCD would be 1 times x times 6, or 6x. So I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 6x. Distributing, I get 6x times x plus 6x times 1 over x equals 13/6 times 6x, which is 6x squared. The x's cancel there, reduce out, plus 6 equals 13x. Subtract 13x from both sides, and I have this equation. Okay? Any questions there? I'm going to recopy that equation on the next page. 6x squared minus 13x plus 6 equals 0. I'm going to use factoring by grouping. A is 6, B is negative 13, C is 6, the product is 36, the sum is negative 13, the numbers are negative 9 and negative 4. So I get 6x squared minus 9x minus 4x plus 6 equals 0. Factoring by grouping, 3x times 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3, and we get a minus 2. So we get 2x minus 3 times 3x minus 2 equals 0. Any questions there? So 2x minus 3 equals 0, 3x minus 2 equals 0. If 2x minus 3 equals 0, adding 3 to both sides, 2x equals 3. Divide by 2, x equals 3/2. If 3x minus 2 equals 0, add 2 to both sides, 3x equals 2. Divide by 3, x equals 2/3. Well, it appears as though we've got two solutions. X is 3/2 and x is 2/3. Well, let's go back. Let's take those two possible answers, and let's go back here. And the question, it said, find the number and its reciprocal. Well, if x is, let's see, the first one, 3/2. If x is 3/2, then what would its reciprocal be? 2/3. What if x is 2/3? Then what would its reciprocal be? 3/2. So both of these answers are correct. But now, if we go back to the original problem in WebAssign, it says to list the smaller value first. So 2/3 would go first, followed by 3/2. Okay. Be careful to read the questions, because I've had students miss problems just because of little things like they got the right answers, but they didn't bother to read. It says smaller value, larger value, that kind of thing. Okay. All right. Let's go back to this screen and let me get another problem from the same student, chapter review, and number 6. Okay. So chapter review, number 6, it says, find the perimeter and the area of the LED screen of the camera. All right. So basically, the problem involves a rectangle that has a picture of a dog on it. And The distance across the top is 4 divided by x plus 6. The distance along the height of it is 3 over x minus 1. So now let's go back to my whiteboard screen. Okay, so perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Let's call this the length and this the width. And it really doesn't matter. We're going to get the same answer. So our perimeter would be 2 times the quantity 4 over x plus 6 plus 2 times the quantity 3 over x minus 1. So that would be what? 8 over x plus 6 plus 6 over x minus 1. Okay? But they want it in a single number. So I need to add those two fractions. But to do that, I need the same common denominator. Well, the common denominator is going to be x plus 6 times x minus 1. Okay, so up here, I'll tell you what, let's get rid of this. Let's try that again. There we go. So I'm going to multiply by x plus 1 over x plus 1. So that's going to give me what? 8x plus 8. I'm going to multiply. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I screwed up again. I did the same thing yesterday, didn't I? What is it with me and those signs? I don't know what my problem is. But I'm sure if we had many hours and a psychiatrist, he could tell all of you. I still screwed it up. Apparently I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So I'll have to quit chewing gum. Okay, so far so good?
Yes.
Thank you. Over here, x plus 6, x plus 6, 6x plus 36. Okay. So that's going to give us 8x plus 8 plus the quantity 6x plus 36 all over x plus 6 times x minus 1, which is what? 14x plus 28 over x plus 6 times x minus 1. Now, I could factor a 14 out of the top and get 14 times x plus 2, but that's not going to reduce with anything below. So I'm going to get that, and I'm just going to write units because they didn't give us any dimensions. So here we've got to add two fractions with a different denominator. So we have to get the common denominator, build to the common denominator, combine the two fractions, reduce if possible. We couldn't reduce, okay? We're halfway through this problem. We've found the perimeter. Now we're going to go back. Are we good to go on? Okay.
Yes.
We're going to go back and we're going to look at the second part, which is the area, which is the length times the width. And that's going to be 4 over x plus 6 times 3 over x minus 1. And that's going to be ridiculously easy after that last one because we don't need a common denominator. That's going to be 12 over x plus 6 times x minus 1. And that's going to be square units. So 12 over x plus 6 times x minus 1. Or I suppose you could write it this way. Square units. All right. That is all the questions that people emailed to me. But if you have other questions, either basically from anything in the chapter review, last night's assignment, whatever, now is the time to ask. Well, okay, be that way. I will be back this afternoon at 1:15 with an office hour. If you change your mind or come up with any new questions, Remember, no Zoom meeting tomorrow. You just come in and take your chapter 7 test. In fact, you can take it anytime up until it's due no later than 11:59 tomorrow night. Once you open it, you're timed to take the test. Okay?
Yeah, I have one question.
You bet. What do you got?
So it's about the test. So, on the last test, I noticed that it submits on its own. It just the time will run down on it, and then it'll submit.
Okay. What's your question?
So is that how it goes?
You know, I'm not really sure. I think that as you do yeah, I'm not really sure how the whole submit thing works, but I think I would go ahead and err on the side of caution, and I would still submit answers, you know, before the time runs down. But apparently it does that automatically, but I wouldn't count on it. I don't know, you know.
Okay, yeah.
I know I've had, sorry?
There wasn't a submit assignment or submit quiz button at the bottom like there is.
Oh, okay. Then it must just do it automatically. I know I had, and maybe it was even you, I don't remember, but somebody emailed me about that. And I went in and checked, and yes, their answers were there. So, oh, I guess, well, here's the thing. Since you only get one try, that's probably why it has a submit button, because on your homework where you can try things over and over, maybe then you have to submit it to get the latest submission. But on the test, since you only get one shot at it, maybe that's why it's automatic. I'm speculating though. But that would make sense. Every once in a while, something makes sense in this life. All right. Anything else? You're welcome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.